But here's the deal. The price that the Ritchie Torreses and the Adam Smiths and the Chuck Schumers of this world will pay is not automatic. The price that they will pay will be entirely determined by the strength and clarity of the movement that demands and extracts that price. And that is why I agree with you that it is completely wrong for DSA electeds or candidates like Mamdani, anybody from the left and, even from the progressive establishment, let alone from the left, to give any inch, to give even an inch to help these warmongers and genocidal politicians to rehabilitate their blood-soaked reputations.
Because, Shaman, you mentioned how we have to punish the Democratic Party, and I believe they are being punished. Because despite the fact that Trump is historically unpopular, despite the fact that Trump is losing his MAGA base because of the Epstein files, because of his general incompetence, that is not bailing out the Democratic Party. Like, we see the pendulum swing all the time. The party that is opposing an unpopular president usually gains popularity after they lose, and after Barack Obama took office, you had the Tea Party rise, and the Republicans rose in popularity because of that. Democrats rose in popularity because of George W. Bush. But Democrats are not only staying stagnant; they are continuing to drop, despite what Trump is doing. That's because I believe it. Maybe this is me just being a sweet summer child. Maybe I'm being too much of a revolutionary optimist here. But I believe the Democratic Party has done permanent damage to the reputation, and they don't even realize it yet after supporting the genocide. There's an entire generation, and I will argue many more, actually, that would never, ever look at the Democratic Party ever again after seeing the amount of dead children they have. So I'm going to quickly get to this just for the sake of time. I'm going to play this video. Okay, here's Ritchie Torres. He's like one of the new young spokesmen people of the Democratic Party. Guys, you see him on CNN all the time. I just saw him on CNN the other day. He's on MSNBC all the time. They're like these young Democrat politicians that is obvious the establishment is pushing. Jasmine Crockett is another one. Jasmine Crockett is someone you will always see on MSNBC, CNN, NPR. These people that are the faces of the party. And after Ritchie Torres pretend to run as a progressive and he sold out and become a neocon, he's the new darling. And here he is called out for his genocidal policies. And the Democratic Party, their plan is to continue to resist Donald Trump by doubling down on unhinged genocidal platforms. So I'm going to play this video, and Shama, I want you to respond to it.
Sorry, am I missing the sound? I'm not able to hear.
You guys can hear it? Oh, damn it. Let me fix it here. Sorry, I knew there was something to go. I can hear it, but let me fix it here. It pretty much, damn it. I'm very upset with that. Very upsetting when it happens, but let me refresh it here. This is Ritchie Torres. If he's been called out for essentially supporting genocide. Damn, I don't hate when it happens. Let me know if the sound working is working.
Do you have anything to say about?
Do you have anything?
Ignore
you hear Shama?
Who come in here who are not funding you like AIPAC and actually have
do you listen to the people of your district? I was elected by them. Do you listen to people? You ran for office. Did anyone elect you? I did not. I've not run for office. Okay.
For one, can you imagine being that much of an elitist asshole where you believe that you are not allowed to be criticized by anyone unless they win a rigged capitalist election? And for one, you are not listening to your voters because the average Democrat is against supporting and arming the state of Israel. But I'll continue, and I'm sure you're going to have a lot to say about this.
I'm simply a citizen. Now, as a citizen who pays my tax dollars, okay, I'm wondering, why are you in favor of sending our tax dollars to starve children to death?
Well, that's a lie.
It's not. It's a lie.
If you have an issue for me, you should run against.
How is that a lie?
How is it a lie? Are you saying that there are no children starving in Gaza?
I think Hamas started the war that has led to starvation.
And do you believe that collective
The same
punishment?
terrorist organization that you support.
I do not support Hamas. I know I do not support
You're a
Hamas.
lobby for Hamas.
No, I'm not. I'm
You're a
simply.
disgrace.
So if you call out Israel, and this guy doesn't even support Hamas, I will answer that question differently. But if you don't support Israel's right to engage in collective punishment, you support Hamas. Sean, before I continue, any initial reaction to this? This is the guy who's the face of the Democratic Party. You have any reaction before I move on?
Just to say, I mean, it's completely shameless, but he's also on the defensive. You can see that these Democrats are, as you said, Nick, starting to have to pay the price. I'll just say that this is one face of the Democratic Party, you know, Ritchie, Torres, Hakeem Jeffries, and Chuck Schumer. Then the other face of the Democratic Party is the AOCs of this world who voted against the amendment to take away at least $500 million from Iron Dome, Arrow, and David Sling, saying that it is claiming that it is defensive weapons. There is no defense. I mean, this genocide, there's nothing defensive or defensible about this genocide. There are no defensive weapons. Israel has carried out 9 attacks on Yemen since just May. I mean, there's a separate Wikipedia just for Israel's attacks on Yemen just since May. Those are the kinds of attacks that Israel is able to carry out with impunity, bombing another country 9 times in 2 months. That is what Israel is able to do because of these quote unquote defensive weapons. And so this is the Democratic Party. It is thoroughly rotten. You have either Ritchie Torres or you have AOC. That is a false choice. The Republicans are obviously not a choice either. And so it really begs the question of the need for a new party for the working class. And that is why it's also important to note that I'm running as an independent socialist. I'm not running as a Democrat. I've never been a Democrat. And this is the state of the Democratic Party. And it also ties into the poll you shared where the Democratic Party's approval ratings are cratered, to the lowest point in 30 years. And like you said, even though the Republicans are in the majority and a Republican is in the White House, the Democrats' popularity is actually falling far more dramatically than the Republican popularity, which is also falling.
And look at this guy here who's the new young face in the party, and they are wondering why that is. So as you wonder why it is that Democrats are historically unpopular, look at this smug asshole here, and it explains everything.
Yeah, I mean, he's
I do not support Hamas.
Go ahead, Shama.
No, and I was just going to say, I mean, what a fucking monster,
It gets worse. I'm gonna play it to the end for a second time, and now I'll get you right in there, Shama. We about to wrap up here soon.
So I know I do not support
You're a
Hamas.
lobby for Hamas.
No, I'm not.
You're a disgrace.
I'm a disgrace because
Absolutely, you're a disgrace.
why? Because
Ritchie Torres calls this guy a disgrace because he wants to save starving children, bro. Can you imagine being this evil? And people wonder why Democrats are historically unpopular. Can you imagine running in a party with this person in it? Like, if you was running as a Democrat, you wouldn't be on there right now. Because to me, that's disgusting. Like, it's disgusting that you would even want to be aligned with someone like this. But I'm sorry, I got triggered. I'm sorry. I'll let it finish. I promise. I'm sorry.
I'm not.
You're a disgrace.
I'm a disgrace because
Absolutely, you're a disgrace.
why? Because I don't believe that children should be starved to death. I do
You're
not.
siding with a terrorist organization.
I am not siding
that
with
started
Hamas.
a war that brought senseless suffering to both Israelis and Palestinians.
I am not.
You should be
I'm
ashamed
not
of
taking a
yourself.
side
You're a
with.
disgrace.
You
I'm
fund
simply-
Israel, who is carrying out a genocide.
There's no Israel's not. You're absurd.
There's no genocide.
Over 30
Genocide means
people.
the destruction of a people.
It means
And
the
what you think
purpose.
is
No.
happening-
The
You're
genocide.
absurd. You're
No.
ridiculous.
Genocide is the purposeful action to destroy in part or in whole a unique ethnic or religious or national group. Do you not believe that there is an attempt to commit
You're still
genocide?
genocide.
Why did the International Court of Justice rule there's a plausible genocide going on? They ruled. They specifically said there's a plausible genocide going on. So you're disagreeing with the IC. Do you at least believe there's a plausible genocide? Do you agree with them on that? There's nothing. Okay. So is there mass starvation right now? Are people dying of starvation? Yes or no? Yes.
I didn't hear because I can't stand listening to this motherfucker. But you gotta see, this is the standard Democrat, and this is the person. Like, does Ritchie Torres realize that he's still very young? There's no statute of limitations on on genocide and how we will be hounding this motherfucker for the rest of his life. Like he has to live with this film right here for the rest of his life. Like I just showed you guys how humanity is turning against Israel. How even the most far right people are disgusted. You have Marty Taylor Greene in the far right that's calling this out as a genocide. You think this motherfucker is gonna have an ounce of peace for the rest of his life? He can't even go to the convenience store. So Ritchie Torres, I hope you're looking forward to this for the rest of your life. And one last thing I'll add here, and this is to the point we were making earlier. We've seen this genocidal monster, Ritchie Torres, who is in full-blown panic mode because he's seen the will of New Yorkers who are against genocide. So you guys know that Ritchie Torres, he was set himself up to run for governor. He was supposed to be the next big thing. But he had a political miscalculation. He went all in for genocide in an era where 100,000 Jewish New Yorkers voted for a Muslim, Zohran Mamdani, because Zohran Mamdani said, hey, man, we probably shouldn't be killing babies. So you have New York Democrats who are strongly against the state of Israel. So now Ritchie Torres is like, holy fuck, dude, I can't run for governor or I'm going to get destroyed. Like, you guys feel like the same people that got Mamdani elected, the same groups are now trying to get Ritchie Torres primary. I don't know if they're going to be successful or not, but Ritchie Torres is in political turmoil in New York right now. He is panicking after the Zohran Mamdani election because he's shown that he gambled wrong. And unless he has hardcore corruption, he's going to be in danger for the rest of his life. So the question I have, and I may be being a nitpicky asshole here, why is Zohran Mamdani bailing out Ritchie Torres? Why is Zohran Mamdani providing free PR and allowing Ritchie Torres to rehabilitate himself by aligning himself with Zohran Mamdani? So am I being picky when I bring up this criticism of Zohran Mamdani forming coalitions with genocidal Zionists? And I find this disgusting. I find the fact that you are disgusting if you organize in the same party with him, let alone doing photo ops with him. To me, this is disgusting. And Ritchie Torres is purposely, there's another headline. I didn't save it. Let me see if I can find it here real quick. In another headline explain how Ritchie Torres is getting closer to Zohran. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I think this is it. I didn't have it saved. Here it is. Look, Mamdani's biggest DC defender is Ritchie Torres. You guys see what's going on? Ritchie Torres is in political turmoil after supporting genocide in New York. And now he is getting close to Zohran Mamdani in order to rehabilitate his image. And Zohran Mamdani is allowing him to? So I ended there. Shama, any reactions to this?
I mean, all of what you're saying is, first of all, the starting point, and I think we really need to emphasize this, that the political turmoil that the Democratic Party is in, the people who supported the genocide, who are continuing to support the genocide, are seeing the writing on the wall that it is going to come with some real price tag. And so they are on the defense. And so we should claim the victory for the anti-war movement. That is the reason that they are being put on the defense. But having said that, the price that they will, I mean, as you said, someone like Ritchie Torres, he's going to have that video hound him for the rest of his life. He's a young man. But here's the deal. The price that the Ritchie Torreses and the Adam Smiths and the Chuck Schumers of this world will pay is not automatic. The price that they will pay will be entirely determined by the strength and clarity of the movement that demands and extracts that price. And that is why I agree with you that it is completely wrong for DSA electeds or candidates like Mamdani, anybody from the left and, even from the progressive establishment, let alone from the left, to give even an inch to help these warmongers and genocidal politicians to rehabilitate their blood-soaked reputations. Absolutely not. And the reason, and we have to be clear, what Mamdani does as a political figure is not his personal business. It is about the movement. And so when we criticize these actions, it is not a personal attack against Mamdani.
Yeah,
It is about the movement. Our loyalty is not towards him as a person. Our loyalty is towards the anti-war movement, towards the Palestinians, towards the working people of New York City. That's who we are concerned about. And that is why it is important, as you have done correctly, Nick, to point out that this is not only a mistake, it's a real problem. It's actually detrimental to the anti-war movement to allow the whitewashing of these blood-soaked reputations by people like Mamdani. So Mamdani should actually disown that photo. He should actually, if Mamdani was actually to do what is needed for the movement, he should be issuing a press statement and doing a press conference about how shameful Ritchie Torres is and all the Democrats who have voted for even a single dollar to the Israeli state, and that he's going to build a movement to fight against it. That's what he should be saying.
And the thing, Ritchie Torres doesn't help Zohran Mamdani. I seen the few progressive cult, because you guys see that tweet I made, it went pretty viral. I called him out, and there were people like, "Do you know he has to do that? He gotta play politics."
He doesn't.
Ritchie Torres needs you. It's not the other way around. So that's the question I asked: why is Zohran Mamdani doing PR for free? Do you guys know that Ritchie Torres still hasn't formally endorsed Zohran Mamdani yet? And Zohran is still doing free PR for Ritchie Torres. So the question I have, once again, I don't expect you to make the same criticism, Shama, but if Zohran Mamdani is willing to do a photo op with one of the most genocidal psychopaths in Congress, Ritchie Torres, you tell me I'm unreasonable for expecting him to endorse Shama Sawan. And if he doesn't endorse Shama Sawan, I view him as immediately suspect. So you are building coalitions with Ritchie Torres, but you can't even send out a tweet about someone who is running as an independent socialist against Adam Smith, someone who called for making pro-Palestinian protests illegal. So you guys see where I'm coming from? If you want to be one of them people like, I want to build a big tent coalition. That's what the Bernie Sanders folks say. They're like, I support a big tent coalition, but they will never show up to an RBM mutual aid event. They didn't show up to my speech when I gave a speech for the March for Medicare for All. They didn't support Dr. Joe Stein or Shama Sawan. It's always their way or the highway. So Mamdani, he wants you to support him, but he's not going to support any other socialist organizations or actions. So why should we support him if he's not coming out to support Shama? Yeah. So wait, I know you're trying to go. Feel free.
I just wanted to say one thing, which is that when they say big tent coalitions, that's code for we want to sell out to the powerful people because we're afraid of standing up to them. That is what they mean. Big tent doesn't mean let's include the Marxists. That's not what it means.
Absolutely. I must put my foot down because I literally can do this forever. And this was only our first episode because I think we're gonna do this more regularly because it's so easy. We only scratched like half of what I plan on covering today because we can just bounce ideas off forever, which is why I wanted to make Nick Shama more often. I think that's what we're gonna do. So we have a lot more to discuss, but we will be doing this again. We'll nail down the exact time here soon. But Shama, I want to pass to you for any final thoughts. And this is based on, and I want to leave it here. I start here, and you can continue with this because this is a point I want to make before we end this show. Because I mentioned how we don't need the Ritchie Torreses, which is why Zohran and them, they make such a drastic misstep in thinking that we need them. There are 88 million Americans who did not vote in the last election. And you think you need Ritchie Torres? As the pendulum swings every single time, as people get upset with Democrats, as people who vote for Trump get upset with Trump, as the pendulum swings, there are people who fall off that pendulum, and it's our job to organize them. So we do not need the Ritchie Torres. Why do you guys think I don't make good business decisions, like reaching out to Democrats and getting part of the club and helping grow my subscribers by having AOC on? Let's play video games with AOC. Why do you think I don't make those smart decisions? Because that's not what we need in them. We don't need them. We need to get organized ourselves. We need to organize and build our own organizations, our own part. I am a strong supporter of building our own parties and our own movements and letting people become class traders and come to us. We shouldn't be begging these people to support us. We don't need them at the end of the day. And if you support genocide, and this is the point I made on the last show, so I won't go too much into it, but people like AOC, if they show up to our events, we close the door. No more photo ops with AOC. No more photo ops with people who are supportive of genocide and a fascist party. That's just me. Shama, I'll give you last, for real, 100% honest to God, last words here. Because I want to end on the call to action. Like, we need to get organized. We can't fall for these tranquilizing drugs.